So far we've covered how to use or when to use singular elements like floral, cute characters or other graphics into your page. Next we are going to focus on when to use splashes, ribbons or borders into your design. Okay, so usually splashes and ribbons, we usually use that for titles or labels of some kind, or it could be like if you're trying to put a note, maybe like a PS, PS, remember to blah blah blah. That could be like a little ribbon, then you can use the ribbon for that. But let me just focus on how to use or when to use borders. Okay, so when do you use borders? You use borders usually if you are trying to frame something, you're trying to emphasize something. It could be a quote, it could be an image, a cute graphic, or it could be a logo design, or so you're basically, or you're framing a picture, then you can use a border. Let me just demonstrate for you. Maybe we'll take an example. We'll take this picture with a quote here. We can try this. Where's the pages? I'll just duplicate this page. Okay, and then we'll choose a sweet border, something like this one here. Okay, so I'm gonna drag it in and minimize this, and I'm going to scale it according to the height of this page. Okay, and because we have like the same graphic here, we can just let me just hide it. Control 3, that's just to hide the image, and I'll just delete it because we already have that same image on the border, and I'll just unhide it. Control Alt 3. Okay, and you can already see it's so cute, right? I mean, I'm just sending it to back. Right click, arrange and send to back. Alright, and then we want to put this in the center. I want it to center it, and I'll crop it with the I crop it according to the size of the page, and then I'll bring this quote down. Could be maybe a little bit smaller. We'll scale it down a bit, and that's it. So it could be a quote, it could be a quote with an image, something like this. It's very sweet. I'll do a different one. Okay, another one is I'll take something like this. We'll just take a PNG. We'll just drag it in, minimize it. The same thing, we'll just go right up to the top corner and we'll place your graphic. Okay, and then we'll crop it. We'll center it first and then we'll crop it because you want it to look a bit more centralized. Okay, and then we can always lock the background by right clicking it and just lock, or Control L. If you have a Mac, it's Command L. Alright, so just copy it. We could do something like another quote. It could be something like this. So what you focus on grows, and when you hear the word grows, you can look at the picture of your it's like, trees are growing, so it's quite meaningful. The quote is complementing the border itself. So when you design, do ever think about how you can make your design more meaningful, and when you design, remember to design with intention. So when you design with intention, you will be able to capture someone's attention even more, and people will see that you are really thinking when you're designing, and you're not just putting a bunch of graphics all together. So that what makes a great design, what makes a design that has focus and has concept and that makes sense. Okay, we are still on the same point here, right? So when to use splashes, ribbons and borders. So now I will show you how to use splashes. Let me just copy this for time's sake, you know. So splashes could be, maybe you'll delete this cute little reindeer and we'll get a splash of some kind. What color? I'm feeling pink. Okay, splashes could be for a title or a note of some kind. Alright, it all depends on what you want. You know, when I do something like this, you could write something like a motivational quote. You know, people like that when they are doing their notes and then they see a little quick note here. It's quite nice, you know. Something like, for example, you are enough. I think it's cute. What about maybe black? I think I prefer the white, so it just blends in with the paper. So you can always, let's say if you feel like this splash is quite you know, it's quite light, you can always brighten it up. Go to your software, that photo editing software. You're going to use Photoshop. You can use PicMonkey or Canva. I don't know whether Canva allows you to actually adjust the brightness or the darkness of an image, but if you can, it'll be good, because usually white usually stands out if your background is dark enough. But at the moment, mine is not dark enough, I don't think. Okay, so I've saved that. I'll just bring that in now. I'll just bring it in now. And I'll just delete this and just put here. Now you can see that your text have stand out now. So it could be something like this. And for ribbon, so when do you use ribbons? I'll just make a copy of the monthly calendar. We'll take that as an example. Just bring it down here. It's here. Okay, maybe I'll delete this. Okay, because like I mentioned before, less is more. You don't want to keep putting too many elements on one page. It will be too busy. Okay, I'll use this color. Back. So you can already see your design is coming to life just by adding your graphic elements into your page. We can just leave it as it is. It's perfect. I think it's good. I don't think you need to add more. You can if you want to, but then again, it'll be too busy if you have just too many elements. Next, we'll focus on when to use wreaths or floral arrangements. Okay, this is very similar to the borders. Wreaths, you can be used on a quote, on a card, on a logo or a label. So it's very similar. Maybe if you focus on this quote, I'll just copy. and I'll create a new page. And then we'll centralize everything, and then we'll bring in one of the wreaths, okay? I think this is pretty. I'll take this one. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Alright, I'm just showing you how I do it. You can do all sorts with it, and remember, you don't have to keep your text black. I'll just send it to back. I'm just using some shortcuts. You can put your text overlapping the image. I think it gives a very nice creative placement. Alright, and remember, you don't have to keep your text black if you don't want to. Sometimes I like to create something very similar to the color of the graphic, so I'll just use my eyedropper tool here, and I'll just maybe select a color. Oops. Remember, if you're using InDesign, you need to select everything, and you have to put it to this formatting text. You click on this, and then you click your eyedropper, and then oh, that doesn't work. Doesn't work. Sometimes it works. Sometimes the eyedropper works for images, but I don't know why it's not working for me this time. So just keep it as black. Alright, it's easy. If you wanna decrease the size, you can. So you can do that, but I think it's really nice when the words are overlapping a little bit. It creates a very interesting composition for your design. Okay, so wreaths are done. So when you use a floral arrangement, you usually use that again on a quote. Maybe we change it up, something like be grateful, you know. Oops. Okay. And then I'll just delete that. So we choose one floral arrangements, like we'll go to here, floral arrangements. We could use something pretty like maybe this one. Right. Maybe like that. It could be just as simple as that. You could add something else. Maybe you could add a floral elements, something that complements this floral arrangement, something similar, something simple maybe, because down is quite elaborate. Maybe on the top you want to be like something simple. Yeah, I think I found something. Let's try this. Let's try it. Not quite. We'll try a different one. Sometimes you can try things out, you know. You want something that complements the flower at the, below. So let me just look at the leaves. Maybe we'll find a leaf that is a little bit, yeah, maybe like this. We'll see this. Oops. Okay. Yeah, something simple like that. Could also go hand in hand with the floral arrangement. Yeah, sometimes you can test things out. Sometimes you can just do without the floral arrangement. You can be just like that. See, test things out. There's no harm, right? Some people just like the simple design like this, or it could be something like this. It could be underneath it, underneath the quote. Be grateful. I quite like this actually. But some other people like the a little bit more floral feel to the whole be grateful. It comes down to personal preferences. I'll just giving you guys options. Okay. Let's try a different quote for this one. You are awesome. We'll just group it, align center, and there's your quote. Okay, be grateful, you're awesome. Okay, so another way you can use wreaths or floral arrangement is when you are creating your own logo. I'm not going to create a logo, I'm just going to show you examples. This lady who created, I do not even know what's her name, this illustrator, she created some logo templates as an example. You can see how she creates. I'm not particularly a big fan of her logo because I think it's just, I don't know, it's not something that I would create, but it is a possibility that this is how you can create a logo as well. Okay, just showing you examples of a logo. This is not bad. This is not bad either. You see, you can maybe just take away this thing. I think it will be quite nice without this thing on the top. So I don't think she's a logo designer. She's a great illustrator, but there's a couple of no-nos there. Maybe I should not show you guys that. Now, you can also use the wreaths for your logo. I'll just create a quick simple logo and see how I create a logo for you, okay, using floral arrangements. But remember, when you use this elements for your logo, make sure do not repeat it on other projects. So that is just one project. A logo is considered one project, so remember not to use the same element for that's the same logo, because if you really want to look through the rights of how you use your elements, you can always go through Creative Market. But from what I remember, hopefully they have not changed it, and don't take my word for it. Always do your homework and check what's the latest terms of use for using elements like this. If you're using a logo, that's basically one element for that project. So I would not want to repeat the same elements that I've used on this design on the pages I've created earlier. So we'll go through the wreaths again. Let me look at the wreaths again. Okay, maybe we can choose something. I like to keep logo design simple because a simple logo is more memorable than a elaborate one. But if you do have an elaborate logo, keep it, your name should be just short and sweet. Okay, so what I've showed you in an example before, do not use it, okay, because I don't think there's just a lot of, it is not how I would design a logo. She's an awesome illustrator, but logo not so much. I'm sorry to say that, but yeah. Anyway, I'll create a name. What's the name? Garden shop. Secret garden. Okay, we'll just name that as secret garden. For the type of fonts I want to use, secret garden. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with me today. My spelling is atrocious. Okay, so we'll just increase that text to maybe 60, and we'll go to, let me see if I can see anything that I like. Matchmaker. Let me just have a look. That could work actually. Do you know why I choose this font? Because it looks like sticks. Look at the elements that I choose, right? It's like very organic, and it's like this is very organic, like stick. It's like a stick, it's like a branch, you know. So whenever I choose a font, I try to choose a font that that complements the graphic at the same time. Okay, and I like how the S and the G touches together. It is not my doing. It is somehow, when I type, it just came like that. So I'm lucky in that sense. So and a logo could be just like this. Simple as that. Maybe we add the word Secret Garden Shop. Okay, like logos, keep to 1 to 2 1 to 2 fonts usually. Yeah, it depends on design. Sometimes some people push it to 3, but I would say 1 to 2 fonts would be more ideal. Okay, so we'll just choose shop. Could be something Garamond. I don't know. I feel like a Garamond. Let me just try Garamond Pro Regular. Let's try this. Okay, we can always change it. The thing with logo design, the reason why sometimes you can charge a lot is because logo design can always evolve. You need to do a lot of research, and you need to continue to sketch and to try different placements, different fonts. It could take a very long time, and that's why don't be surprised if your designer charges you for like heaps for a logo design. Especially if she's a good designer, he or she is a good designer, they will charge a set price or a little bit more, because it does take time to create the perfect logo. It all depends on the concept of your logo as well. I think that's pretty good for my first try. So keep your logo simple and make sure your logo does complement your graphic. I like to keep the shop and the actual Secret Garden text different, so that it makes your logo looks more interesting, right? So you know that the Secret Garden is one word and shop is one word, and if you put them together, it complements one another, and the pairing is good, because if you want to use a sans serif font, which is the sans serif is without the, let me just go closer to you. So basically, a serif font is something like this. Look at the H, there's lines on the top and on the S, So it gives a more of a serious, sophisticated, modern sort of look, and more of a serious tone, right? And the sans serif font is very like organic and very playful. It could be organic, playful, fun. Okay, so I think this is a good logo. I'm sure there's more improvement, but I won't go into detail. So I just want to give you an idea on how you create your logo. Okay, so if you want to create your logo, make sure to understand what is your concept of your logo. What sort of message do you want to focus on? Like in this instance, this is a garden shop where have plants and all that, right? And maybe the secret could be maybe there are special type of plants that you haven't seen it before. It could be a special type of shop that has special plants that you can't find anywhere else. I don't know. This is just an example, right? So you want to create something that is like organic and fun and flowy and not restrictive, not serious, and if you pair with a serif, a serious font, it actually makes your logo do stand out quite well. It does make your logo come together just with a serif font. Actually, without this, I'll just hide it. It's pretty good already, but if you do at the shop, it looks even better. Did you agree with me? Well, I think it's better. Anyway, it's quite subjective, isn't it? I mean, it's hard to please everybody, but the key to creating a good logo design is to keep it simple, straightforward, and to the point. You don't want to too much elaborate, too much stuff that's going on. So there you go. Last but not least, we'll focus on when to use a pattern background. So usually a pattern is used in the background of your design, or it could be a background of a certain label. Now let's say I want to put a background for this note box, right? I'll go through the pattern. Let me just have a look what patterns I have. I really like this collection. It's so pretty. Okay, it could be maybe this one. I'll just take this one here. Alright, and then I'll drag it to the height of, or to the width of the note, that note box. Alright, and I'll crop it. So pretty, right? And then, oops, don't want to do that. Oh. Okay, we want to align selection and then up. Okay, so I'll just crop it down here like that. Okay, just put it closer together, and then what I'll do is I'll place this in the background. So you can see you can actually do a lot of things with pattern background. Okay, you could emphasize like you could use patterns to on boxes like this to emphasize a certain area of your page. Okay, so it's quite sweet. Oops, I'll just show it to you like that. Yeah, it could be just like that. All right. Or let me just centralize this first. I want it to look good. Okay, yeah, that looks much better. Okay, so we'll do a background for this monthly calendar. So I'll just make a copy. Alright, so do this, and then I'm just gonna use my selection tool. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, I'm going to leave this on here, and I'm going to put a pattern, like choosing this on in the background of the calendar. So before I do that, maybe I'll just select everything and make sure I'll put my my background as white, so this part will actually stand out. We'll do a pattern background. Okay, drag it in again, and then I'm just gonna scale it to the height of the page, align the margins, and I'm gonna centralize it, and then I'm gonna crop it. Okay, I'm gonna crop it, that, and I'm gonna send it back. Alright, so basically I need to do more things here. Just like that, as simple as that. Okay. Yep. And this flowers in is on the top, which actually you can actually maybe arrange it somewhere else if you like, but it does look pretty cool because it feels like the flower is coming out from the background. Could be something like this. Yeah. And so I think that's the end of our tutorial. So let's recap. We've covered using what you have, so use what you already have in your computer. So for those of you who do not have any design resources, I have left a link to the design resources which I have curated. Of course, it will be my affiliate link, so if you do buy a design resource from that link, I will earn a small commission, but it will be no cost to you. So secondly, we've also covered how to come up with the theme of your project. Look at what you have and then decide what you want to create. Okay, be meaningful, be thoughtful, and just decide. Thirdly, we have also covered when to use singular elements like this right here, cute graphics like here, okay? And we've also covered how to use splashes, ribbons, or borders into your design. Like borders, we've covered the borders, okay? It's great for quotes like that. So for round splashes, you can use for a little note, for quotes, or usually used on your title. Okay, there's ribbons and splashes for you. We've also covered wreaths and floral arrangement. Wreaths, you can use it on a quote. Okay, using this just an element like that, just for a quote as well. All right, and you can also use wreaths for a logo design like that. And then lastly, we've covered the pattern background. Okay, so a pattern background for a printable like this. This is for those who really want their design to stand out, to really look very attractive. Then I would say go for the pattern background, and it will look really good, especially when you print out. So these are some basic ways you can use design resources. Okay, so I hope I have covered all that I need to cover, and I hope you will find this very helpful and insightful. Of course, there are many more ways to use design resources, but I hope I've touched the basic usage of using design elements into your printable design. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and click the bell button. So I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye now.